When Hurricane Sandy hit New York, 5 of our 11 districts were badly affected. But in each of those districts, they had received a $10,000 emergency grant from our foundation. Lions serve. We are there when disaster strikes through the support of our foundation. I think back when the hurricane in Haiti happened. Lions were there, the Red Cross was there, but Lions made a pledge to the Lions and to the people of Haiti that we would be there for as long as it takes. Not just for 2 months, but for as long as it takes to help them to rebuild their schools and their medical centers. That's what Lions do. Where there's a need, there's a lion. Now let's take a look at some other areas around the world through our disaster relief efforts.
The Yosemite Rim Fire is one of the worst wildfires in California history. Thousands of firefighters came to fight the fire, and hundreds of lions came together to serve. Sandra Nugent took refuge at the fairgrounds in Sonora, California, when the fire forced her to evacuate her home.
I woke up and smelled it. I was concerned because I didn't know what was burning and where. It became layers of ash on the cars.
When word spread that hundreds of people were to evacuate their homes, California Lions from 64 clubs quickly mobilized to help.
I had heard they were setting up the fairgrounds. I stopped and talked to whoever was in charge. He came up and says, "What can I do for you?" I said, "Absolutely nothing. What can we do for you?"
Within the hour, Lions arrived to help the American Red Cross set up the evacuation center. Lions then volunteered to run the kitchen and prepare and serve meals for displaced people.
Our main goal is those who have been displaced by the fire. They have the worry of losing everything they own. The last thing I want them worrying about is where they're going to get their next meal.
With an emergency grant from LCIF and donations from restaurants and the local food pantry, Lions are able to serve approximately 1,200 meals a day to firefighters, Red Cross volunteers, and evacuees.
Whatever we need, they have a whole section set aside in their warehouse just for the food needed here. They're furnishing a tremendous amount. They've been a huge help for us.
LCIF has been phenomenal. They came through that day with a $10,000 check available to me to spend on anything I needed to run the kitchen and food.
Food's been great.
The Rim Fire is expected to burn for many weeks, even months. Lions are prepared to go the distance by having volunteers on site every day for as long as they are needed.
What this fire has done is it has completely disrupted people's lives. Lions Club International has stepped in and has been able to work hand in hand with the local folks here. It's just been a fabulous experience to work with this type of a volunteer group.
They were brought on board within the first few hours and were producing food within 24 hours. They're just fantastic community partner.
I'd like to thank the Lions personally. They've been a wonderful group of people who have just been so helpful, so considerate, and just very gracious. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you, Vice President Doug, for hosting this event, and thank you for everybody that's watching or listening. Lions Clubs International was started back in 1917 by a man named Melvin Jones. And one of my favorite Melvin Jones quotes is, "I hope that there will always be a land beyond for Lions Clubs International, a goal that will keep growing larger, yet keep just out of reach, challenging us to run faster, work harder, think bigger, and to do more." As Lions, with the support of our foundation, LCIF, we are making dreams come true by taking on new service horizons and expanding our humanitarian service and reach to serve more people and more communities than we ever have. And when you think about it, the needs of the world have never been greater. But as Lions, we are committing to doing our share, more than our share. In my leadership roles with Lions Clubs International and LCIF, I've traveled the world and I've seen firsthand the good that LCIF does. I've walked through the rubble through a devastating fire in my home state of Arizona. LCIF responded, giving grants so we could provide emergency support in bedding, water, prescription drugs, food, all for the impacted families. I toured a cancer center in Indiana that was providing state-of-the-art treatments for children with cancer. There are so many stories, but I'd just like to share one. I was in South America when Paraguay was hit with torrential rains. I was called to their capital city to really view the damage. The Paraguay Air Force was kind enough to take me up in a helicopter to fly over the area. There were more than 100,000 homes and businesses all underwater. I've never seen a flood that big. A couple of calls were made, and that same day, LCIF approved a $100,000 major disaster relief grant. I met with the local Lions, and they were enthusiastic and wanted to do something, but they had no idea where to start. We got together and we sat down with some government officials, and we identified a pressing need. The schools were currently out due to spring break, but they were going to be shortly needing to go back to school, and they needed a place to go back to school. And many of these schools were underwater or were being used as emergency shelter for the displaced families. Locally, we've located some tents, but not nearly enough. I called LCIF, and we were able to locate tents. And these tents were designed specifically to be classrooms. We ordered them in a matter of days. With the support of LCIF and the local Lions, we put up 19 tents. A portion of the money was also used to supply the classroom desks and materials, and a balance was used for those cleaning up those other schools so they could be ready for when school did, when the water receded. The Paraguay Lions played a huge role in organizing, supervising, and really seeing this project through to its completion. The volunteer efforts helped stretch our LCIF dollars. It was a classic case of LCIF working with Lions and outside entities to respond quickly, decisively, and effectively. That's what LCIF does. We're there to supersize our Lions service. Let's follow the dream that Melvin Jones had of a land of beyond for Lions International, where we run faster, work harder, think bigger, and do more. It's all about bettering more communities and helping more people, especially those in need. To continue this work, we need your help. Won't you join me in supporting LCIF? If everyone donates a little bit, we can make a huge impact. Thank you for your consideration.
You know, I used to think Lions Club was all about just meetings and eye tests and that sort of thing. This demonstrates that you guys are big and you're out there, you're willing to help, and we just really appreciate it big time.
It's really sad, but we have to help. It's our goal.
We are often first to respond.
食料、水、医療、そして避難所を提供し
重建这房屋、学校跟其他的建筑物。
Somos sus vecinos.
We're Lions.
Superstorm Sandy ravaged the east coast of the United States in October. Many residents lost everything: their homes, cars, even their lives. But Lions and LCIF are there, with emergency grants and volunteers providing much-needed relief.
We cannot physically go in and help every single household, but if we can just give them a little piece of hope and let them know that they can get back on their feet.
And I always let them know that it seems bad right now, but we as Lions going to be here for you to see you through.
With grants from LCIF and donations collected by clubs, districts, and members, Lions have been able to provide basic necessities. Massachusetts Lions drove to New York and set up a soup kitchen. Other Lions came to assist with the massive cleanup. From near and far, Lions are reaching out to help Sandy's victims.
I'm alive, I'm fine.
Rosemary Joyner, a Lion in New York, is grateful. She was rescued from her third-floor window when water from the bay rose up to the second story of her home.
These things all have to be thrown out because it was salt water. This is material stuff. The most important thing in all this room was my life, and I saved my life.
Though Rosemary's belongings were damaged, her spirit wasn't dampened. A true Lion, Rosemary was out helping others the day after her dramatic rescue.
There's always someone worse than you. I was not doing anything. As you see my house, I couldn't stay in here. I went to help.
Immediately after the water receded, Lions started venturing into heavily affected areas to see what was needed and to deliver goods directly to residents. And Lions keep coming back.
I have been to Far Rockaway in these last couple of weeks many times. We were there days right after the devastation. And you have to help, and that's what we do. Our model says it, we serve.
The Lions Club is awesome, you know, they came down, they gave us all the spring gear, get our house back in order, and just try and get back to some kind of normalcy in our lives.
Perhaps greater than any donation is the emotional support that Lions are extending to victims of Sandy.
When I see someone that's been devastated, my heart, I just ache for them, and I can't help but want to do as much as I possibly can for them.
Hello, my name is Cassandra Rotolo, and I'm the Regional Program Specialist for Constitutional Areas 1 and 2 in the Humanitarian Initiatives Department. I handle matching and disaster relief grants for these areas. To date, LCIF has awarded more than US $130 million to support global disaster relief. Did you know that our foundation awards more than 150 emergency grants each year on average? Most of those are for flooding, followed by tornadoes and wildfires. Emergency grants support Lions-led disaster relief efforts, providing immediate necessities like food, water, clothing, and hygiene supplies. While emergency grants are our most common disaster relief grants, our support doesn't start or end there. With natural disasters increasing by about 15% every year, LCIF also offers funding support before a disaster occurs. Disaster preparedness grants help Lions get ready for the next disaster. These grants are often used to purchase and equip Lions disaster relief trailers and emergency supply kits. The goal is for Lions to determine their role in local emergency response long before a disaster strikes. Oftentimes, Lions notice that other agencies have adequately addressed immediate needs following a natural disaster. In these instances, you might consider a community recovery grant. Community recovery grants support short-term cleanup and repair efforts. Emergency grants support immediate needs, but community recovery grants address some of those overlooked needs, like debris removal and temporary eye care clinics. For more information on how our foundation supports disaster relief, please email LCIF Emergency Grants at lionsclubs.org.
This time, the Pals Prince and myself, Lion Scott, we're going to try to speak as one person. So I'm going to say a word and you say a word, and we're going to ask for a donation like that, okay?
Let's do it.
All right, you start.
What
would
you
like
to
see
today
in
us
to
give
to
you?
So
What
will
you
give
today
to
Lions
Club
International
Foundation
matter
of
fact
this
is
working?
But
if
you
don't
know
that
this
is
the website,
then
here
you
go.
www.lionsclub.org
give
today.
Now.
Peace.
So Scott, tell me, how did the band get started?
Well, actually, the band has been together. The five of us have been playing together in some form or another for about 30 years now. We all started off in high school in different bands.
Oh, boy.
So if you thought I was younger than 25, I've just given that secret.
And you guys have been together almost 30 years?
That's right. We've crossed over through original bands to cover bands. But right now, we're at this part of our age where it's really just about having fun. And so when we had the offer to come and be a part of this fundraiser, it was just right in line with us as adults, you know. And as the Pals Prince said at another time, he said that his way of service is sometimes through entertainment, and we feel that way too. For us, singing and
supporting an event like this is service in a way.
It certainly is. And we're so happy to have you with us during this telethon.
Well, let me ask you a question here, and this goes for everyone at home. I'm going to see if you can do the example. The next song we're going to play is by one of my favorite artists, Prince. And this song actually starts with a little bit of a dance move. And so what you actually do is you have to bend your knees once, twice, 3 times, and then clap. Can we try that together? So it'd be 1, 2, 3, clap. 1, yeah, now we just have to do that until everyone at home starts doing it with us. Can you guys do that at home with us? And then we're going to cut to the band and we're all going to start this together. So let's try it again. Ready?
Okay.
Here we go. And 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, clap. 1, 2, 3, clap. Are you doing it? Let's cut to the band.
You're doing great. If it burns, you're doing it right. Now we're gonna keep doing it, but do it to music. 2, 1, 2, 3. Working part-time at a 5 and dime. My boss was Mr. McGee. Well, he told me several times that he didn't like my kind, 'cause I was a bit too leisurely. Well, seems that I was busy doing something close to nothing, but different than the day before. Yeah, and that's when I saw her. Whoa, I saw her. She walked in through the outdoor. She wore a raspberry beret, the kind you find in a second-hand store. A raspberry beret, and if it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. A raspberry beret. I think I love her. Yeah. Feel like she was. She had the nerve to ask me if I planned to do her any harm. Well, look here, I put her on the back of my bike and we went riding down by old man Johnson's farm. Well, overcast skies never turned me on, but something about the way her and the clouds mixed. Well, she wasn't too bright, but she kissed me. She knew how to give a kiss. She wore her raspberry beret. If it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. A raspberry beret. I think I love her. The rain sounds so cool when it hits the barn roof, and horses wonder who you are. Thunder drowns out with the lightning seas, and you feel like a movie star. They say the first time ain't the greatest. Yeah, but if I could do it all again, I wouldn't change a stroke, 'cause baby, I'm the most with a girl as fine as she was then. Oh, raspberry beret. Yeah, the kind you find in a second-hand store. A raspberry beret. And if it was warm, she wouldn't wear much more. A raspberry beret. I love her. Oh, raspberry beret. Oh, yeah. The kind you find in a second-hand store. Raspberry beret. Before she wouldn't wear much more. Raspberry beret. I think I love her.
Lion Scott here with another money update. And I gotta tell you, everyone here on set, we are blown away. Once again, the goosebumps are back. We experimented with this telethon. We had no idea it was gonna be this successful. But all of these small donations, including some of those large ones from our ambassadors, have brought us to a number that we just are astounded by. Folks, we're at $375,000. That is right. That is the $375,000 sound that we only hear when we hit $375,000. You know what sound we hear when we hit $400,000? Let's find out. Let's get there.